Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain, back for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. So for this quest here, it brings us back into the Sands. You can access the Sands either through the marketplace or through the guild airship. And once here, we're going to want to head up to Jafan Druze, and we can pick up the quest for the Chains of Flame. Now, it is a long way to the quest, so we will be traveling on horseback just to speed things up. On top of that, the quest itself, I typically end up skipping this specific quest, partially due to the time it takes to get to the quest, as well as the quest itself can be a little confusing, as there's a lot of twists and turns, backtracking, and it's very easy to lose your way in the quest. That being said, we're still obviously running it here for you guys.
Charging battery.
My overall thoughts on that quest is, like I said, I skip it any chance I get. But it is required if you do want to run the raid, as you need the orb that it drops. It is like the phylactery and the bowl of blood here, that it is a guaranteed that you get it, so don't worry about having to farm it. The XP on it, however, is actually not too terrible. It is fairly good for its level. Alright, so as you see, we're actually heading up to where we were for the Firebrand Mines, which is just up there. But instead of making the turn off to the right there, we're going to actually continue heading up the ramp here into this small little village. Now, what we're going to do, just because of the amount of people here and the fact that we actually got a rare, we will stop to just quickly kill off some of these guys. It'll also help to lower that alert for us. Alright, so here's the rare encounter chest. At that point, you're going to want to continue up the hill here to the very tip top. We're actually just going to want to hop down right here onto this ramp. Now here, at the end, again, a bunch of guys to kill. If we continue heading up the ramp, we can actually come across another named enemy. However, in order for the quest, we are just going to continue down the hill. And continue heading on. So we want to head up. Ooh, of course I got hit off my horse. Up and around across the little bridge here. And our goal is to get across onto those bridges there. So to do that, we're going to just head straight. Making our first left here. Heading all the way to the end. Just kind of following that up here so we can get back onto where the bridges were.
Visitors must travel through this
and head across. So along the way, there are a couple of spots where you'll get some explorers. As you can see by the map being cleared, this was not our first attempt at doing this video. The first attempt kind of didn't go very well. I ended up getting, well, a little lost. Again, it happens. Unfortunately, this is, again, a quest I never run. Alright. But I was able to get my bearings, so this run should be a little bit smoother there. So, almost there. It's just one more group of guys right here.
The heat of the desert
And
is
here we
incomparable
are.
with the sweltering temperature emanating from the burning city.
So, you also see a bit of the map partially uncovered here. Or not. Okay. I'm actually surprised on that one. There we go. I guess we just hadn't fully loaded in yet. So, again, the reason for that is we were in here, we made an attempt, but didn't quite go as planned, so here we are for round 2. Alright, so the first thing obviously you want to do is open up the doors. As soon as you step through, right above, we're going to have some archers. Now, you're going to get these sections a lot where you're going to have guys up high. If you do have some sort of range damage in your party, I definitely recommend taking them out now. Just makes it easier to deal with them now rather than them and others later. So the next thing to note is there are a lot of traps in this quest, and a lot of those traps, the boxes are actually located after the trap itself. So just move slowly, make sure that your trapper is heading first so that they're able to get those for you. The next thing to point out is throughout the quest we are going to come across these locked doors. And these doors, as you see, cannot be picked. You actually got to find keys. The keys are located on overseers and other named enemies. Alright, so we're going to walk past that first door. And then we got a second one right here. Again, we're going to walk past that one because we still don't have any keys. So this is another reason why I really don't like this quest. There's a lot of backtracking just due to the fact that you got to run past the first few doors before you even approach where you can even pick up your first key. Alright, so one thing I did forget to mention while we were at the start there is way down here in the lava, both sections of lava, so there's here, there's at the start, there's over here, on all the sections of lava, there is a return portal, like this one here. It will be located somewhere on the bottom, and this will just help get you back out of the lava and kind of take you to the beginning of the quest. Alright. So we're gonna keep going. Alright, so before we get too far, I should point out, like, the amount of XP, as you see, we're getting about just under 18,000. With daily, we should be getting about 19,000. Then with all our extras, it will push us up a fair amount. So, like I said, the XP isn't too terrible, but it is a very confusing quest to make your way through. Alright, so at this point, here's our first overseer. As you see, they are an orange name, so they do stand out, and they will be dropping keys. Now, aside from the overseers, we're also going to run into all these enslaved humans, enslaved kobolds, and other enslaved individuals. All you got to do is talk to them, and you'll free them. As you see, we need to free at least 15 for the quest, though there is a little bit more than 30 actually, but you'll be able to free 30 slaves in order to get a little bit extra XP. As you see, 1200. Then with some bonuses, should get about 14, 15 if we're able to actually find them all. I'm not going to worry too much about that, just due to the fact that it is already a very long quest, and it's one of those, if you miss one, where did you miss it? So alright, so once you get that key, you're going to want to backtrack to this first set of technically it would be the second set of doors that we ran past, but it'll be the first door that we come across now. And we're going to make our way through the enemies here. Alright. Once we do, we have a little door off to our left, which is actually going to have
blood and rusted iron.
some people in here. Now, what we're going to want to do
Main course.
is actually talk to Uncor, and if you challenge him to a duel, he's actually just going to kill the dwarf right away. So you're going to want to try and use these speech graph skills. So let's try diplomacy. So he gave us our key. No fights, no muss. But as you see, he did still kill him. So again, saves it, but we lost the dwarf, which means we lost out on one of the optionals. This optional in particular isn't a lot. It's about 300 experience, so it's not that big of a loss. But using diplomacy, as you see, skip the fight, which is fairly handy in keeping it with time. Alright, there we go. Alright, so through the door. And as you see directly on the other side of the door, we just have another individual giving us a second key.
Howl without
Make sure I
catch
got
sight
it up.
of you.
In this room, we also have, again, a few more enslaved individuals. And at the very top here, we'll also, aside from the enslaved individual, there's also a random little loot chest here for us. And lucky us, we got a rem chest too. So now with our extra keys in tow, it's backtracking to that very first locked door that we ran past. So we're going to head out this door, make a left, and here we are. So as you can see, now we're starting to run into some of these traps. So I'm going to give ourselves some fire resistance and some jump. As these traps here are located a little ways in. Kind of as you see at the end of all the traps, that's where your box is. So yeah, it definitely helps to have somebody who is able to evade traps. Alright. So we actually have another trap right here. And then we can continue on. Alright. So at this point, directly to our left here, through that door, we do have a shrine. So it is a nice little kind of rest point if you need it. I am just going to run past, as at this moment, we're not really in that need of a shrine. Alright, so continuing up the ramp, through all the methods. Alright.
The updrafts in this volcanic cavern are searingly hot. They still offer respite from the stifling air of the city.
So again, lots of enemies on the high ridges, as well as the same level that you're on. So at this point here, we have two directions to head. We can head south and north. I head north first, and just kind of get that one done and over with. Alright. I always forget about that elemental. So this one here, we do have a ladder heading down. What it will take is obviously down towards those two breakables down there. As well, that is one of the ledges where some of these guys would have been earlier. So as we were kind of killing them as we were way up top here, makes it a little bit easier. And we can avoid that. Another thing to point out is you definitely want to check inside these little huts, as one, there will be breakables, as well a chance for some of the enslaved individuals. Now heading all the way around the corner, we come across two more. Now they were mentioning here that there is a chest behind this door. This door here is simply just locked. There's no traps, there's nothing like that. So if you're able to pick the lock, you get in and grab yourself some loot. Now it can actually contain some named items, but definitely not something worth re-rolling the chest for. It's actually kind of like subpar at this point, but obviously if you're wanting, it is there, so it is that choice there for you. This point we're going to head back up and around and work our way south. as you can see, more traps. Now this is actually probably my least favorite trap in this quest. It has a whole bunch of spinning blade traps. It kind of encompasses this whole floor. The trap box itself is in the back wall, just slightly to the left of the right of the banner. So honestly, the best way for this one is to just rush in, jump to the end, and grab that control panel. Obviously, again, if you have evasion, that makes it all that much easier, as you can just evade the trap. Alright, so moving deeper inside. Alright, so we got a room right here. We're actually going to skip this one here for now, as we actually got to come back, and that is the way that we want to progress. So we're going to skip that one, heading to this door. And head this way first, and then looping back for that other path. Gotta love them plague reapers. Alright, so there we are. So we got another slave. We got a few more archers up there. Alright. So we got a door here, and we got a bridge to cross. So we're gonna start with the door. Inside it has a Minotaur, and all we gotta do is talk to him. Gives us a little bit of XP. Shortly thereafter, it does spawn in a few elementals, which once you kill, it also gives you a secondary optional. And then simply talk to him a third time for a little extra. And gives you some free loot. That one done, we're gonna head out and across the bridge. So we want to head up the ladders, plural. There we go. And through our door.
This terrace of the burning city is not as oppressively hot as below. The most powerful firebrands probably dwell at these heights.
Alright, so we're back to the door here. So it does seem that we actually are going to have to head back down. Which we can just hop here. And we are going to have to backtrack a little bit. heading back to that other room so that we can pick up that key. So I do apologize, we actually should have hit this room up first.
You hear muffled howls.
I also want to point out there is a trap on these stairs, as you can see with the giant blade traps. However, they are easily avoidable by just walking in the center. And then our trap box is at the top of the stairs by the door. And then it is through this door, which has our overseer and our key. And a bunch of lag. Alright, we're also make sure to pull our lever. And there we go. So yeah, we should have been doing that first. I kept thinking that was the room to progress, dropping down a ladder, but that's not for a little bit further. So I do apologize about that. So now that we've gone back and hit that room, we are going to continue back to where we were. So across here, across the bridge, and then we're going to head up the 2 ladders again. Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've run these, and again, because of all the backtracking that you have to do, I forget what's required and which rooms you gotta hit in which order. Alright, so there we are. So here's that room we were just actually in. So we're going to cross the bridge. Now we do have a door off to our left, and then again straight ahead. So we are actually going to start by heading off to the left, heading on through this door here. Alright.
A troop of archers ranged along a defensive wall shout rude challenges and insults at your invasion party.
Alright, so this one here is kind of just a long stretch. Got a couple of, well, we have a slave here. And then it's just through the door. As you can see, more traps. We have flame jets on the side, spike traps in the center. Honestly, easier to go through the spike traps to get to the end, which should have our boxes somewhere here. Alright, so we're gonna head through this door. As you can see, a whole lot of archers. It's honestly probably my least favorite part about this quest. It's just how many there are. As they can definitely make quick work of you. Alright. So, at the far end here, we have another door. Which is actually avoidable, but again, slaves, breakables, kills, all the things that can contribute to more experience. We also have a ladder leading up, which, if memory serves, is just a breakable or two up here. Oh, not even that, it's a collectible. Alright, so once we have that, let's just back up and around. And then we're going to cross the bridge. Alright, so here's our next overseer with our key. So as you see, it kind of gives you keys kind of one at a time. Except for that one time where it gave us two. But it's kind of one at a time. Go through the door, then you need your next key, so on and so forth. We also happen to have a locked chest here at the back of the room. Nothing special, but again, free loot. Alright. So now we're going to backtrack. And we're going to hit up this side room. Inside, we're going to come across this individual here named Aerith the Blinded. Now, he is actually blinded by a curse. Now, if you happen to have an item that does have blindness immunity, you will be immune to this curse. So we're going to go ahead and use this. I will suffer the curse. And there's that blindness. Now it's going to keep blinding us back to back. So if you cure your blindness, it's just going to come right back immediately. At this point, you want to head up the ladder. And it will have our warlocks that we are supposed to kill. It will also, once you kill them all, you can talk to Aerith again. And right where we were up top of the ladder, it's going to open up a little door, giving us a chest. Alright. So now we need to work our way around to where the ogres were entering the room. And head through here. And work our way to the very end of this bridge. So now, as you can see, more of our favorite traps. These ones, if we can jump past quick enough, you can usually get by and get to our trap box. And then continue deeper. So up the ladder. And just more trash enemies to kill. And you want to work your way all the way up until we get to our last door here.
Must be close at hand.
And I think we missed a key. We did miss a key, so yeah. Oh. It seems our wolf was able to pick up that key. So yeah, it would have been that guy that we had killed that I just completely obliviously didn't pick up the key. So yeah, you want to kill the guys, both the general and the Ifrit. Make your way into the room. Once here, we have a chest right here, and we have a horde. So you grab the horde, and it's done. From here, we can go ahead and use this, and that's actually all you gotta do to complete. Now, if you are looking for the rest of the slaves, I always recommend doing it at the end, because that way, if you do get fed up for whatever reason, I mean, you're done. The easiest way to find them is they are down on ledges like these, like where the adventure pack is. They could be hiding. But honestly, the easiest way to find them is to hop down to the very bottom and essentially start from scratch. Looking on these ledges, of course, hopping down to them if need be, which we're not seeing here. So we're just going to hop back down all the way to the return portal and head back out. So I'm not going to bother you guys with searching all the way through it, but I'm going to pop out here and show, as you see here, finding all 30 slaves, about 1200 experience. So I mean, it's not too terrible for all that. Once you got that done, you're going to want to recall back to town and turn in your quest. At that point, you'll have your third and final object required to get into the pre-raid, which will do one of those, as it is still just a quest. Alright guys, well, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope it wasn't too confusing of a video. I know this quest is really confusing, and I hope you guys, it helps you guys get through. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one all.